Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Duggar Family. Latest news update: the Duggar family is once again making headlines. But this time the reaction is very different from what longtime viewers are used to seeing. After years of speculation, quiet, living, and staying largely out of the spotlight, Jana Duggar has officially welcomed her baby. While the news of the birth itself was enough to grab attention, what truly surprised fans was the unexpected reaction to the baby's name. For a family that has often found itself surrounded by controversy, criticism, and intense public debate, the response this time has been unusually calm and even positive. Many fans admit they were prepared for backlash, heated discussions, and social media outrage. Instead, they were met with something rare in Duggar-related news: approval. Jana Duggar managed to keep her pregnancy largely private, which in itself surprised many followers. Unlike other family members who shared frequent updates and carefully staged announcements, Jana chose a quieter path. For months, there were only subtle hints. Some fans thought they noticed changes in recent photos, while others pointed out her reduced presence online. Still, no confirmation came until the official announcement, and when it finally arrived, it immediately sent waves across social media. The announcement was simple and understated. There were no dramatic captions, no elaborate photo shoots, and no long explanations. Jana simply shared that she had given birth and was beginning a new chapter of her life. That simplicity alone caught people's attention, but what followed next truly caught them off guard. As soon as the baby's name was revealed, fans braced themselves. Historically, Duggar baby names tend to spark debate, with critics often dissecting their meanings, religious symbolism, or unusual choices. Many expected the same pattern to repeat itself, but instead of criticism, the comment sections filled. With surprise, people began saying things like they didn't expect to like the name, but actually did. Others commented that it felt refreshingly normal. Some even joked that this might be the least controversial Duggar baby name announcement in years. For a family so often associated with polarizing reactions, this response felt almost unreal. What made the reaction even more surprising was that even longtime critics of the Duggar family admitted the name didn't give them anything to argue about. It wasn't overly religious, it wasn't strange or attention-seeking, and it didn't feel like it was chosen to make a statement. Instead, it felt thoughtful, modern, and relatable. That choice alone seemed to shift the tone of the entire conversation. Social media reacted in real time. Posts discussing Jana's baby spread quickly, and instead of outrage, there was curiosity and cautious positivity. Many fans pointed out that the entire announcement felt different from previous Duggar moments. It felt more personal, more grounded, and less controlled. For years, Jana Duggar has been viewed as the quiet one, often described as the daughter who stayed behind, helped raise her siblings, and put family responsibilities before her own personal milestones. She has long been a subject of speculation. Many viewers wondered if she would ever step out of that role. This baby announcement appears to have changed how people see her, rather than reinforcing old stereotypes. This moment suggested that Jana may be quietly carving out her own identity. The privacy around her pregnancy, the simplicity of the announcement, and the carefully chosen baby name all point toward a more independent approach. Fans are now questioning whether this marks a turning point, not just in Jana's life, but in how the public perceives her place within the Duggar family. The Duggar name has gone through years of public scrutiny, and every new update usually reopens old debates. Jana's announcement, however, didn't fuel those arguments. Instead, it softened the conversation. While it doesn't erase the past, it does show that public perception can shift when the tone changes. Many fans are now wondering what comes next. Will Jana continue to keep her life private, or will she slowly share glimpses of motherhood on her own terms? For now, viewers seem content, simply celebrating the moment and acknowledging how different this reaction feels. Perhaps the most surprising part of all is the sense of unity this announcement created. Supporters and critics alike found themselves agreeing, at least briefly. In a fandom that is usually deeply divided, that alone makes this moment stand out. Jana Duggar welcoming her baby didn't ignite controversy. Instead, it created a pause, a moment where people simply acknowledged something positive. And in the world of Duggar news, that kind of reaction is truly unexpected. This unexpected calm reaction has led many fans to look more closely at Jana Duggar's choices and what they might represent. For years, viewers believed Jana would follow the same familiar pattern seen throughout the Duggar family. Marriage, announcements, pregnancy reveals, and baby updates were usually loud, highly produced, and deeply tied to the family's public image. This moment, however, feels intentionally different. Several Duggar followers have pointed out that Jana's approach feels less like a public announcement and more like a personal update. The lack of heavy messaging and the neutral tone suggest that she may be prioritizing her own comfort over public expectations. That shift alone has sparked conversations about whether Jana is quietly redefining what it means to be a Duggar in the public eye. The baby name, in particular, has become the center of discussion. While the family has historically leaned toward names with strong religious roots or symbolic meanings, this choice felt grounded and widely accessible. Fans have described it as timeless rather than trendy, familiar without being boring, and meaningful without feeling forced. That balance appears to be the reason the name resonated with such a broad audience. What's especially notable is how quickly the tone of online discussion shifted. Instead of dissecting the name for hidden meanings or ideological messages, people focused on how normal and pleasant it sounded. In Duggar-related conversations, that kind of response is rare. Many longtime followers admitted they were almost waiting for the controversy to begin, only to realize it never did. Some fans believe this reaction reflects more than just a name choice. They argue that it shows how exhausted audiences are with constant outrage and how ready they are to respond positively when given a reason. Jana's announcement provided that opportunity. It didn't demand attention, it didn't provoke debate. It simply existed, and people responded accordingly. Others see this as a reflection of Jana's personality. Throughout the years, she has often been portrayed as practical, calm, and reserved. This announcement seems to align with that image rather than contradict it. Instead of surprising fans with shock value, she surprised them with restraint. There is also growing discussion about how this moment fits into the broader Duggar narrative. The family's reputation has been shaped by years of public scrutiny, and each new headline often feels like a continuation of old controversies. Jana's baby announcement disrupted that cycle, even if only temporarily. It offered a different kind of story, one that didn't rely on conflict to gain attention. Industry observers and Duggar commentators have noted that this type of reaction could influence how future updates from the family are received. If more members adopt a quieter, less performative approach, public response may continue to soften. Jana's announcement could serve as an example of how tone and presentation can change the entire conversation at the same time. Fans are realistic. Many acknowledge that one positive moment doesn't erase years of criticism or controversy. Still, they see value in recognizing when something genuinely feels different. In Jana's case, that difference feels intentional rather than accidental. Another factor contributing to the positive reaction is the timing. After years of intense Duggar-related news cycles, audiences may simply be ready for something calmer. Jana's baby news arrived without drama, and that alone made it stand out. In a media landscape filled with constant conflict, simplicity can feel refreshing as attention now shifts toward Jana's future. Curiosity continues to grow. Will she remain mostly private as she enters motherhood? Will she choose to share selective moments, or will she keep her family life largely offline? So far, her choices suggest that she values control over her narrative, something that has not always been possible for members of the Duggar family. Fans have also begun reflecting on how long Jana waited to reach this milestone. For years, she was seen as the one holding everything together behind the scenes. Becoming a mother now feels symbolic, not just of a new beginning, but of a long-awaited personal chapter finally opening on her own terms. Comment sections remain filled with messages of support, congratulations, and surprise at how peaceful the entire moment feels. Many viewers have admitted they didn't expect to feel happy reading Duggar-related news again. Yet that's exactly what happened. What stands out most is how quickly people moved on from criticism to acceptance, instead of asking what was wrong. With the name, they asked why it worked so well. Instead of questioning Jana's choices, they respected them. That shift may be subtle, but it's meaningful. Jana Duggar welcoming her baby has become less about controversy and more about perception. It has shown that when expectations are challenged in quiet ways, the response can be unexpectedly warm. Fans didn't just accept the baby name, they embraced the moment. And while the Duggar story is far from over, this chapter feels different. It feels calmer, more human, and more relatable. For many viewers, that's enough. As the conversation around Jana Duggar's baby continues to evolve, many fans are now looking beyond the initial reaction and asking deeper questions about what this moment represents. For some, this is not just about a baby or a name, but about how public perception can quietly shift when expectations are challenged in subtle ways. For years, Duggar-related news followed a predictable pattern. Announcements were often framed within a familiar structure, and reactions were equally predictable. Praise from loyal supporters, criticism from skeptics, and heated debates in between. Jana's baby announcement disrupted that rhythm. Instead of feeding into the cycle, it paused it. This pause has caused many viewers to reflect on their own reactions. Some fans admitted they clicked on the news expecting frustration or disbelief, only to find themselves feeling neutral or even pleased. That emotional shift is significant. It suggests that the audience itself may be changing, becoming less reactive and more selective about what truly deserves criticism. Media analysts who follow reality TV families have also taken notice. They point out that tone plays a critical role in shaping public response. Jana's announcement didn't invite commentary or demand validation. It simply shared information. By doing so, it removed the usual triggers that lead to backlash. Without dramatic framing, audiences had little reason to respond negatively. There is also the question of control. For much of her life, Jana has existed within a tightly managed public narrative. Her image was shaped by family expectations, television editing, and public assumptions. This moment feels like one of the first times she has exercised full control over how a major life event was shared. That autonomy resonates with viewers, even if they don't consciously recognize it. Fans have begun revisiting older perceptions of Jana in light of this announcement. Long seen as the responsible daughter who stayed behind while others married and moved on, she was often portrayed as static, almost frozen in time. Becoming a mother reframes that narrative. It positions her not as someone left behind, but as someone who moved forward deliberately, on her own schedule. The baby name itself continues to be a focal point, not because of controversy, but because of its symbolism. Many fans interpret the positive reaction as a sign that Jana intentionally chose a name that would stand on its own, without inviting debate. In doing so, she allowed the focus to remain on the joy of the moment, rather than on public opinion. Online discussions now reflect a more thoughtful tone. Instead of arguments, people are sharing personal reflections. Some say the announcement reminded them that not every story needs to be dramatic to matter. Others say it humanized a family they had long viewed through a critical lens. This reaction doesn't mean critics have suddenly become supporters. Rather, it suggests a willingness to separate individuals from larger family narratives. Jana's moment was received as hers alone, not as a representation of everything the Duggar name carries. That distinction is important, and it may influence how future stories are told and received. Another layer to this story is how motherhood itself may shape Jana's public presence moving forward. Historically, Duggar mothers have shared their journeys openly, often framing parenthood as a central part of their identity. Jana's approach so far suggests she may choose a different balance, sharing selectively and maintaining boundaries. Fans are already speculating about whether she will continue this low-profile approach. Will she post occasional updates without commentary? Will she keep her child largely out of the spotlight? While no one knows for sure, many respect the restraint she has shown so far. This moment also highlights how audience expectations can evolve. Viewers who once followed Duggar news out of habit or controversy are now responding to sincerity. Jana's announcement didn't feel like content. It felt like news. That difference matters in a media environment saturated with performative moments. In many ways, this story has become less about the Duggar family and more about how people respond to change. Jana didn't announce a new belief system or distance herself publicly from her family. She simply made choices that felt personal rather than performative. The reaction shows that sometimes small shifts can have the biggest impact. As time passes, this announcement may fade from headlines, but its significance will likely linger. It demonstrated that even within a highly scrutinized family, individual moments can still be received with empathy. It reminded audiences that public figures are not defined by a single narrative, and that perception is not fixed. For Jana Duggar, welcoming her baby marked the beginning of a new chapter. For the audience, it marked a rare moment of pause, reflection, and unexpected agreement. In a story often defined by division, that unity stands out. And while the future remains uncertain, one thing is clear. This moment changed the tone, even if only briefly. It showed that sometimes the most surprising reactions come not from what is said loudly, but from what is shared quietly.